Hey there, welcome to the channel, blade lovers everywhere. OG Blade Reviews, back with you. I've got something I'm excited about today because I got a big box of knives from DC Blades the other day. Justin out of DC Blades sent me this guy that you're going to be amazed by in a moment, and a few others that are going to work their way onto my table over the next week or so. So I'm hoping to share those with you soon. You know, if you don't know DC Blades, they had the #1 new release on Amazon with this guy, the Sheath Scythe. Remember that? #1 new release on Amazon. Pretty crazy. They couldn't keep these in stock. This is a Pikal knife. Depending upon the style of Filipino martial arts you might study, it may be pronounced Pikal, or Pikal means to rip, right? Jab and rip. Yeah, it's not your everyday steak knife, okay? It is a specialty knife. So, you know, a lot of you guys like to leave comments. Well, not a lot of you guys. Some of you guys like to leave comments like, oh, useless, blah, 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 blah. Come on now. You know, if there's a specialty tool that someone made and you can't use it for 395 other things, then, you know, we're all sorry. I'm telling you up front, it is a specialty knife, okay? It is a scythe. It is meant as a very small form factor knife for this action, okay? Gross motor action. And my good friend Bob DeMarco over at the Knife Junkie channel on YouTube, he's well acquainted with these as well, and you can see a review on this one and the XL version in titanium. And that's what got these guys started. They made a custom first, I think, in a fixed blade. Chris Hansen is the bladesmith over there at DC Blades, and he comes up through Old Squirrel knives. He comes up with some fantastic, beautiful looking artwork. Let's not hesitate. It's a bigger box. That must mean it is a fixed blade of some sort, and that's all it says there. Oh yes, well these are made by Miguron, so the OEM, Original Equipment Manufacturer, for DC Blades is now Miguron. I think they might have used some other folks in the past, but all the knives you see on their channel are now made by Miguron. And it's a nice presentation in this really firm military grade sort of foam. And there it is with the sheath. This is the Mantis. And the Mantis comes in a number of different flavors. I think 6 altogether. But let's get it out of the sheath first. It is a nice Kydex sheath. I think they're using Kydex rather than Bolteron. And oh man, is this a nasty, nasty naff or what? Well, I just want to quickly show you that we have on DC Blades, and I'll make sure you got all of the links. Here they are. So these are the different styles, if you will, that these blades come in. All right, so you can get different handles. You can get them with or without the VEF serrations. I'm calling them VEF, V-E-F-F. That was a gentleman well known on Columbia River Knife and Tools for putting this sort of serrations on their knives, on a lot of their folders. And it is just some of the most wicked, they are some of the most wicked serrations you will ever run across as far as being extremely slicey and useful. They rip and they slice at the same time. Just pretty amazing. So what we have here is a Pikal knife. Show you again the sheath. All right, with the clamp style, tech lock style outside the belt holder, not inside the belt. You can easily take this off with these Chicago screws and put on the clip of your choice. So easily put on a DCC, I believe. Not sure about the spacing and whatnot, and I haven't tested it out, but you should be able to get a DCC or an ulti-clip that fits these two grommets on either side. Okay, enough said about the sheath. Let's look at the knife. Oh my God, it's radical. Now, they put out something similar with tops. I think it's a little smaller, and the name eludes me at the moment, but you probably are familiar with it. But let's talk about the ergos and the profile on this. I mean, extremely radical. I mean, almost seems like, maybe a meat processing tool. And in many ways it is. You can hold it this way, particularly the ones with the serrations, because you can, I mean, if you know your particular Filipino knife styles or Indonesian knife fighting styles, this action, all right, they call it an 8 or a 9 in my numbering system in Piccati Tercia. This just drops in the hand. I mean, hard to show you from the top-down position, but just holds right in the hand like that. By the way, you got some beautiful red spacers on this, and it is marked DC blades. It is 14C28N. I confirmed that yesterday with Justin. And we have this sharp inner edge. So the primary use was this, Pikal. So Pikal means a position in the hand wherein it is point down. So the point is closest to the pinky and the edge is in, okay? Which enables you, once again, trying not to be too redundant here, there and pull. Tearing, like an eagle's claw, like any animal's claws, cat's claws, what have you. That's the primary purpose. And I love it when, I mean, it is a bit high if you're used to other forms of Pikal knife, but it does allow for trapping, okay? So you can stop using your arm, and you can rip. Let's see if we can get a little further out anyway. Yeah, I'm a little close here. There we go. Okay. And a little more adjustment. There we go. That's max for me, for my background. So you've got plenty of space in here for trapping, okay? Tapping and trapping is what they call it. Tapping with the arm to stop something, and then hook and trap, or simply attacking and ripping. So that is pretty much the alignment of the point. It is beautifully straightforward, okay? Should you elect to hold it this way, you can use it as an EDC knife. You can slice with these guys. I mean, they're pretty amazing. I'm not sure what I've got for off on the side here for paper. I know we got something here. Hang on, folks. There's a fresh piece of paper. Why use a damaged piece of paper when you can use a fresh piece of paper? I don't want that out there. It's my turntable. You see that sometimes on my Instagram shorts. Okay. Look at that. I mean, on that motion alone, you have a terrific amount of devastating action. But these VEF serrations, you see, they're 3 little mini blades. And when it hits, look at that. Hardly any motion at all. I'm going to rip up my background. They're pricey backgrounds. And on the main cutting edge, we've got a lot of slicey action there as well. All right. Being that it's not a utility blade, it is plenty sharp. It is plenty sharp. That's hair popping sharp right there. Let's get some measurements on it. It is not a small knife. It's a handful right there. It's perfectly a handful. It's really comfortable in the hand. It's very secure. So what we've got here for overall length is 7 inches, okay? If you want to measure the blade up to the handle, it's about 3 1/4. If you want to measure only the cutting edge, then we've got about 2 1/2 inches of cutting edge. Plenty for the purpose. And then if we were to go into our other measurements here in inches, we've got a handle that is 0.59. Got blade stock plenty thick at 0.16. And then switching to metric, we've got 15 millimeters on the handle and 4.2 millimeters on the blade stock. So as I said, plenty thick blade stock. And it's solid, it's heavy, but really not anything that's going to be an anchor, okay? There's grams. 119.29 grams, 4.2 ounces. So well under 5 ounces. Excuse me. Little throat action there. Here's the thing with the way it's set up for the edge out, point forward. All right, point up. Is that you've got these two humps here. I find that they may have put these in for a tactile purpose of feeling, where your thumb should be. Obviously, you don't want to go out too far or you're going to encounter that edge. So with this little bump in here, you can get down into here or back to here. I'd prefer to stay back just a little bit and not get too close to that edge. When it's in this position, that really, I don't think has a purpose. So that's why I'm thinking that they're there for this position. Now, should you get the version without the VEF serrations, and I'm not sure he's calling them VEF, that may or may not be a trademark name, so my apologies if I'm saying they're VEF serrations, but they're identical to what I know from Columbia River as VEF serrations. But you're only going to get usefulness this way if you get it with the serrations, because there is no edge here, okay? That's flat. You've got the inner edge here, right? And you've got these serrations here. So that's why I asked him to send me this version, because it has that usefulness, okay? And it also has that usefulness as a utility. Now let's put it out there and do a compare. Here it is against the, let's put it in the Pikal position. There it is against the Scythe, their original. And kudos again on the fantastic reception that it got on Amazon. Here is one of my favorites, and I'm going to get you the name in a minute. That's the Vandal, and that is by MF Blade Works. Got this quite a while ago. It's a custom, but it's a custom in that it was actually produced for them, OEM by them, by a company that does CNC knife work of their own, okay? And I think it's fairly common knowledge, but I just don't have it at front of mind at the moment. That's a double-edge Pikal knife, and one of my favorites, because it's got the point exactly where I want it. Notice that we've got a lot more rise to the point on the Mantis than we do on the Vandal here. Personally, I prefer this. Almost ideal. Almost ideal. But this is a different sort of breed with multifunction. As opposed to this guy, you could use it this way. You just got to be real careful. I love to put my thumb out on a blade, but this, by the way, is in 3V. You can obviously cut with it this way, but more likely we're going to use a backhand motion with this. We're going to rip with it this way and going to use a backhand motion that way. One more, my good buddy Dirk Pinkerton, fantastic custom knife maker, and this is a custom, an all-out custom. This is his ferrule, his take, and this has seen many modifications since this one. This is an older model. This one I think is, yeah, CPM 3V. This one's a bit different. He took to kind of a Tonto clip here, but still, if you hold that handle straight, you've got that point exactly forward and it is going to rip, and it's very sharp 3V steel. So sticking with the fixed blades for compare here, we've got these three. And let's just put those aside for a moment. Get back to, if we can, the sheath. Zoom in a bit. Okay. The sheath fits perfectly. Nice snap. Zero rattle. Nothing. Really in there solidly. You can push it off with the thumb, I find, which is really nice if you want to take that out slowly. I'm not so sure I'd carry this in the pocket if I took the clip off. You could sustain some pocket damage on the way out, depending upon how you grab it. Now, you could grab it that way, or you could take it out that way. It's more likely you're going to want to carry it in a Pikal position. So when you withdraw the knife, it's point down. Your choice. We've got grommets here where you could even neck carry it, although I find it's a little large, a little heavy for neck carry. But probably inside the waistband, or, you know, you may very well want to leave the clip on and carry it on the outside of the belt. You're going to have some real quick access to it. It's going to be a solid withdrawal and, you know, easy peasy sort of a thing. But that's the sheath. Compared to, something commonly known, a griptilian. There's your size. So although it feels, you know, it's got a full-size handle, it's actually got a smaller handle than the griptilian. And overall, despite the curve, the griptilian is a larger knife. Here's a Rat 1, larger yet. And there's many other compares I could do, but, you know, we'd be here all day for compares because I've got a fair size selection, to say the least. There you have it. The Mantis from DC Blades. These are available now. They did one run, so when this drops, run out to their website and check and make sure they still got a few of these in stock. Again, you've got, I think, 6 variants. All right, 3 main variants, and then the serrations as a secondary variant on each of those 3. So I believe it is 6 altogether. You get different color handles, black blades, not black blades, so on and so forth. And I think we've got, what do we have here for a coating? It's not Cerakote. I believe it is, it's PVD. Just looked it up. PVD coating on the black, and they got it stone washed when you have the naked blade, so to speak. Hey, click on this logo right now that you see, and if you're not subscribed, I'd be happy to have you as a subscriber to the channel. I do consistent reviews, at least a couple a week, okay? And lately I've been doing practically one a day because I'm blessed to have many knives coming in from different manufacturers for me to check out. And I want to thank them all. And in this case, particularly DC Blades. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Chris. Great luck with the sales. You won't even need luck, but best wishes to you guys. Take care, and you be safe.